probably gonna need to go heat this up again. I've been sipping on this giant cup of coffee for too fucking long. What it do? What it do? What it do? Hello, hello, hello. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. What's up with the title? I don't know. Why don't you Google it? Yay, just got home from work. Perfect timing. Hey, hey. Just rebuilt my computer to play Skyrim. Man, it's a sad commentary on the video game industry when people are still like, that's the benchmark game still. I mean, fuck, didn't it come out in like 2008 or some shit? 2009, just like an eternity ago, basically. Working on guitar riffs while I chill. Cool. I'm working on this cup of coffee while I chill. If I can get this done. Oh, my coffee cup is awesome too. I don't really hold it with my left hand, so it doesn't really show when I sip it, but it's a penguin. Like a Santa hat or something on. But some horrible tragedy has happened and the top of his head has been cut off and I'm drinking the liquidy insides. By the way, if you look into somebody's coffee cup and their coffee is that color, you're dealing with a man who knows his coffee. No cream, no sugar, no bullshit. This is coffee. The way our, ancestors would drink it. Just black. Coffee's gay. Okay. Says the dude that's literally first in the chat every time. Coffee's the one with the problem. No sugar, no way. You need at least 20 packets of Splenda in that coffee. Nah, dog. Good coffee tastes good with no sugar. Hey, Paul, should I adopt a cat or dog, young or old? Good morning. Whoa, buddy. I don't know. Sure, go for it. Paul drinks mocha cappuccinos, don't lie. I don't even think mocha cappuccino is a thing, bro. I mean, I guess you can put mocha in a cappuccino, but who would do that? See, man, these plebs trying to make Starbucks jokes, but they have no idea, Like, I worked at Starbucks for 8 years. I know all the jokes, okay? I know all the references, okay? Were you surprised when you found out TJ doesn't technically have a micromanagement situation on Monday's DFF? I was surprised. I mean, I don't know. He's said that before. He said that he technically doesn't have a micro penis before, but I guess it's official now. Well, it's official if you believe TJ's measurement data. Because there could be two things going on. Number one, he doesn't quite have a micromanagement situation, which is totally possible. Or number two, he figured out what a micromanagement situation is and then added an extra 3/4 of an inch on there. You know what I mean? To make it look like, well, at least I'm not a micro. I don't know, dude. I have not gotten out the measuring tape myself, You need to measure, so no, dude. No, somebody else is going to have to take one for that team. No thanks. I'd rather not. I'd rather not have TJ's wee-wee in my face. Hey, Paul, I'm about to adopt a child, male or female, young or old. What is this? What's going on today? We need proof. Then why don't you come over here and measure it then? Why don't you take one for the team? Come on, Jack. Get on the plane. Come down here. You know what I mean? because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't care enough. You know, TJ's wife could do it. Yeah, but you got to think about this though. You know, as much as I love Chelsea, she's gonna back up what he says. You know what I mean? You can't trust her any more than you can trust him at their word. You know, she's not gonna come out and be like, actually, TJ's got a micro dick. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? She'll come out and be like, yeah, it was 4 1/4 inch. You know, we can't. It's got to be somebody with no, you know what I mean, no right to benefit from it. Get Scotty to do it. I mean, he would I think he would be the one that, like, I don't know, dude. I know Scotty would be honest. Scotty would not let him squeeze an 1/8 of an inch in anywhere. Scotty would give us a blank. But like, is Scotty gonna want to do that? Is Scotty gonna want to do that? I mean, I guess like a math person could probably do some stuff. Like, what if couldn't a math person, knowing TJ is 6'7", right? Couldn't a math person like watch the hot oil video and do some like calculus? You know what I mean? If TJ is 6'7", and then, you know, but he's laying back, so we have to remove this amount of height, and then, you know, go in and measure the wee, and then compare it. You know, use his body as an, you know, maybe you could do that. Maybe somebody could do that. You know, use his body as a reference point. If you know that is, you know, if you know that that's 6'7", then yeah, I've played some Smash. I tell you what Smash needs, though, at least in this iteration of it, it needs like a button like in the settings menu, and the button should say have a life, and when you flip that button, all your characters should come unlocked. Because like, dude, I don't know, dude, I don't have a whole lot of time to play it. I don't play it a whole bunch, and when I sit down, I just notice I've got like 20 characters, and there's 77 characters or something. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a nice addition. I think that'd be a nice addition to Smash Ultimate. Like a little button that's hidden somewhere in the menus. It's like, I have a life, and when you turn it on, like, da-da-da-da, everybody has joined the battle. You know what I mean? Because I don't really care to keep going, man. You know? Like, I don't know. It's like I gotta fight 3 computer battles or whatever to get one chance to unlock a dude, and I'm not all that good, so sometimes the dude beats me. And then I gotta go back and try him again, which is weird. They don't make the rematches easy to get to. You've gotta go, like, you gotta back out to like the top menu and then go to games and more, and then there's this little icon in the bottom right. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to know that. Like, I had to look it up online, and it took me forever to fucking find it. You go there, and like, okay, it gives you a second chance at beating somebody that has popped out that beat you before. You know, I don't know. I just think that all the characters should be available if you want them. Old people problems, I guess so. Heard you should play the game for 10 minutes, then quit, and a new fighter will appear every time. Yeah, but like, why do I gotta do that? Why couldn't they come out with a way to like unlock these fighters was a little earlier? Like, make me unlock 2 or 3 instead of 1, you know? Oh. Whatever. I guess it's old people problems. Yeah, dude. Maybe cheat codes. Maybe. Yeah, what's 10 times 70? That's like 700 minutes of deliberate play to unlock all your characters. That seems like a raw deal. I don't know. Whatever. Who's your favorite Smash Bros. Character? I like, so far, I like King K. Rool. I like the big dudes. So I played a little King K. Rool, a little Bowser. Played a Pokemon emulator with Game Shark cheats. It can get boring when there's no challenge. Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about cheats though. It's not really a challenge to unlock these things. It's a challenge. Like the only thing challenging about it is the amount of time you've got to spend doing it. Whatever. Grinding for days does not equal challenge. Yeah. It's called skipping the grind. Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice if they'd add in a button, you know. Whatever. Who's your favorite female Smash Brothers character? I like Isabelle. I like that her attacks all look like she's like accidentally doing something. Like she's got like a thing where she throws a pot, but it just looks like she trips. I like all her animations. Look like she accidentally beats you. You know, that's kind of cool. If you could direct a movie with Chris Farley in the lead, what would the movie be about? I don't know. What do you think? I've just got like an answer to that very specific question, just ready to roll. I've sat down and sketched out my if Chris Farley's corpse was brought back to life and I was told to direct a movie and apparently by your standard write a movie about him or for him, what would I like? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'd make some weird art film called The Man Who Ate the World and just have him start like it's just him sitting in his apartment and he's eating pizza or whatever and he runs out of pizza and he's like, you know, and then he starts ripping up the pizza box and eating that, and then he's like, and he sees the table and he's like, starts ripping up the table and eating that, and then he, you know, finishes that and he frowns away, and then, you know, he just keeps going, like he just keeps like getting disappointed by his meal, you know, and he keeps looking for something else around him to eat. Paul, you can add an inch to your dick, but you have to take 2 inches off your height. Do you do it? If so, how much? I don't really care. I wouldn't do anything to add anything to my penis. I'm fine with it the way it is. It's not a, you know, it's not the most impressive looking thing in the world, but it works. I've never had any complaints about it, so I'm just gonna leave that where it is. Thanks. I'm probably gonna lose about 2 inches over the next 10 years of my life anyway, off of my height, just from like my horrible posture, my horrible back, my aging body, all my joints collapsing in on one another. What's the frowny face for, honey? Oh, I guess that's probably the frowny face of I'm gonna have to take care of Paul when his body collapses. Yeah. Sorry. Do old people get shorter or just slump? I think that both, actually. I think they lose a lot of like actual height from bad posture, and then I think that their joints can actually compress. They can lose actual height. Yeah, they can buy a cart. Maybe by that time there'll be like a hover chair, you know, like Robotnik has or whatever. I'll just be able to like sit in a little ball and like that'd be pretty cool. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, dude, K. Rool the movie. Damn. Who will take care of Ashley? Dinor. Right? You take care of... Oh, you almost spilled my coffee. That's... Never mind. Whatever we had, whatever moment was about to happen is over now, bud. Now I've got the adrenaline pumping. Why don't you go inside? Mobility scooter, yeah. I think I need to go heat up this coffee. It's a little lukewarm now, so give me a sec. Okay? Don't know where. Don't do nothing. Whoa. All right, now I'm happy. Now I'm happy. Better. Much better. What if you never came back to the stream? I don't know, probably like 50 or 60 of you would sit here and just wait. Most of you would leave though. Probably. Floating chair with holographic supermodels to satisfy your deepest, fattest pleasures. Yes. Yes. How's life in the South? Is it anything like Little Abner of the Dukes of Hazzard? No. No, it's very much not like that. You remember the Sinbad Genie movie? Yeah, I do, dude. Shazam? Yeah, I do. I remember Sinbad dressed like a genie, had a turban, poofy pants, a vest. It was like a kid's movie where he was a lovable genie and the kids were, you know, like found him or something. I don't know. I don't remember every little plot point about it, but I damn sure remember watching it when I was a kid. Damn sure. But that was the Berenstein universe. Yeah, I've seen the Shaq one too. I know the Shaq one, Kazam or whatever. I'm telling you, Sinbad. Well, whatever. Whatever. There's no need lamenting being in the wrong universe now. At some point, I crossed over into the Berenstain universe, and that's where I'm gonna stay, I guess. Yeah, it was Shazam. It was called Shazam. Yeah, and it had Sinbad in it. He was a genie. Like I said, wore like a Raja's turban with a little jewel in the middle of it and a feather, and a vest, poofy pants, and shoes with the curled up toes. Maybe it's the fact that a lot of kids' movies at that time were so formulaic, so many people remember it. Maybe. Or maybe we transitioned into a different parallel universe, and some of us grew up in the Berenstain universe, and some of us grew up in the Berenstein. Are you gonna play Santa Claus when you gray? I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Ever watch The Goonies? Nah, man, I've never seen that movie. I grew up in the Bernstein universe. Are you even capable of producing the joy required to play Santa? Yeah, dude, you didn't see like the Christmas episode? I make a pretty badass Santa. The Christmas special that we did for DFF? Dude, I can fake it till I make it as Santa. You know, these sad eyes filled with angst become kind old man eyes behind the beard. Ho, 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 ho. Merry. You gotta have that twinkle. This is the twinkle, right? And you can only see it like if you hide most of your facial features, but this is the twinkle. Merry Christmas. That's the twinkle, you see, the twinkle. You gotta have the twinkle. That's not twinkle, that's glaze. It says you, Travis. It says you. You don't even believe in Santa, so what do you care? In here acting like you care about a Santa. If you got offered a part in a movie, would you take it? No. Hey Paul, can I get a good luck? My college is appealing my expulsion today. Oh yeah. Yeah, don't get expelled. Good luck. Care about little kids having to be exposed to Santa Paul with a subtle odor of lukewarm ham and his freakish, coked out eyes. How do you know how I smell? How'd you figure that out? How'd that happen? Where do we go from here? Doesn't deny the ham smell? No shit. The Democrats are like girls who always get cheated on by their elected officials. The Republicans are like battered wives that never leave their abusers. Okay. That's an interesting comparison. Why don't you name other natural disasters after people, i.e., earthquake Bill or forest fire Ted? I think they should, honestly. I don't know why storms are the only ones that get that. Did you go on a road trip with TJ's farts and Jeff Ross in the back seat roasting you for 12 hours straight for $50,000? Hear about Mean Gene passing? Yes. St. Nicholas is the gift bearer, was a real figure like Jesus, from what I understand. Okay. In order to capture Santa. Get out of here, man. Why are we still talking about Santa? Isn't it like January 8th or some shit? Come on. Christmas is over, guys. Time to pack it in. Okay? Time to pack it in. Look, that New Year's is over. It's past time to pack it in. Let's go. Let's be done. Let's be done with Santa. Let's talk about Santa next year. Okay? Do you think you guys will get robbed/murdered if you do the Big Chief road trip? You typed that? Did you have that? Did you at least copy paste that from somewhere else so that you didn't actually like sit there and like please tell me you copy pasted that. Please tell me you didn't sit down and actually type out that stupid dead end question. That stupid dead end question from whence there is nowhere to go comedically or otherwise. Please tell me that you didn't type that whole thing out and then read it back to yourself and then hit enter and send it. Please tell me that was trolling. Please tell me you just copy pasted it. You didn't waste your life clock doing this. Typing that stupid bullshit, please. Please tell me. Who reads it back to themselves? People that don't want to look like idiots, because autocorrect changed 50% of their words, probably do. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yo, Paul, is DFF operating in mini-series like Serial Killer? What? We've got these things we call blocks that we do on DFF, but I don't really consider it to be mini-series. Like, we'll do like a block on a certain type of topic. And then when we get sick of it, we move on to something totally different. We can come back to that topic. Please burn forest fire. Yeah, forest fire Jeb would just be like a single match on the ground that never catches anything on fire, that's desperately wants to start a forest fire, but it just never happens for him, you know. We all just witnessed Paul's Christian Bale moment. Really? I didn't even get loud. I didn't do like the, oh, good for you. I didn't do any of that. You know? You guys are so sensitive. Like the littlest, tiniest little dab of salt, and you guys are like, whoa! oh shit, Paul, so salty. It's like, man, if you weren't so reactive to my salt, you'd probably see me get even saltier. But when I see people going like, oh, just salt, man, I just back off of the salt. I'm just like, I'm not giving them what they want. I'm not giving them what they want, dude. You guys will just get that little tiny dab of salt today. The rest of it's all gonna be smiley now. See? Hey guys, hope your day is wonderful. You guys ever look at bunnies, huh? They're so fluffy. So fluffy. I just love petting them. I love little furry creatures, you know, of all types. I love to pet them. I love to hold them and snuggle them. you know, very carefully, of course, because you don't want to hurt the little things. Hey, Paul, how likely is it that we're rocketing towards an all-out, no-holds-barred World War III in the next 5 to 10 years? Thanks for the content. I don't know what the chances are, man. If I knew that, I'd probably be, making a whole lot more money. I'd be a prognosticator or something. I don't know. I don't even know if, like, an all-out World War III is even in the cards anymore. I don't know. What was it like playing Magic the Gathering for you? I played it in high school, and it was like something that was way lamer than getting laid. That's what I remember about it. I remember all the time I spent playing Magic the Gathering. I remember thinking multiple times during my teen years, like, if I put half the effort into getting laid that I do into the stupid card game, I'd probably be getting laid a lot. Was there a Patreon commentary for December? I think there was, yes. That's a great way to put it, Lamau. Cool. What is guaranteed, though? Climate change, yes. Paul, I'm a classical vegan. I feel that vegans need to be reformed. I will use every opportunity to riff on low-hanging fruit and defend and advocate meat eaters. Why did I read that? Why did I read that? What's the point of reading that? I love bunnies and kitties, puppies, and you. Oh, thanks, Black Butter Crunch. That was nice. That was nice of you. Now you get laid and play Magic. Best of both worlds. I guess so, but, I don't really play all that much Magic anymore. Every once in a blue moon. Every once in a blue moon. What are your thoughts on the idea that nukes help keep the peace? It's not really an idea. I mean, mutually assured destruction is what's kept the nuclear peace since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So I don't know. I don't know that I like the fact that that is what it took for us to get some semblance of peace when it comes to nukes, But that really, I think it's illustrative of human nature. We've got this horrible weapon that we know can just level a city. And the only way that we can make sure that everybody won't level everybody's cities is to make sure that everybody has enough of those weapons to level everybody else's cities. That's human beings for you. There's no, we don't come together and go all right, guys, maybe we shouldn't have these. Let's not make these at all, huh? Let's not do that. No. Nah. Let's all make them. Let's all make enough of them to singularly destroy the world on our own. And that means that if anybody launches one of these at us, we're going to die. Yeah, that's true, but they're also going to die. See? Thoughts on the upcoming film Glass? I'm a little worried that it seems to be based rather heavily around the character from that, what's the fucking Shyamalan movie? I can't even remember. I reviewed it, now I don't even, Split. I was not a fan of Split. I was not a fan of the main character of Split, and so the fact that he figures so heavily into the Mr. Glass and Unbreakable thing, not real happy about that. If World War III is on its way, it won't be a conventional war between nations, it'll be between factions. Oh hell, what does my 27-year-old ass know? Thanks. I don't know. You might be right. Who knows? Yeah, we could do DFF dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs, so it'd be a pretty big topic. We might have to split it up. You know, deliver us from this mortal shell. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the split dude. I don't think that he's as cool as the other two, you know? Whatever. Unnecessary addition. Dinosaurs never existed. Damn. You just blew my mind, bro. You just blew my mind. Right out the back of my skull. Top chat seems like something fake to keep people in line. Well, it works. I'm telling you, man. I remember the Wild West days here on Highdeology before Top Chat was implemented, and let me tell you, man, it was unreadable. It was undoable. There were some nights where I just had to, like, stare into the void. It's just like, I mean, it's almost there now, but it's just slightly curated, you know what I mean? Just enough to keep the worst of the bottom of the barrel-tism out of the chat, but only just. Only just. It's a very, very blunt tool. Let's top chat. Well, as I'm reading you here, I can set, you know, I can do all chat. Let's see, what is it called? Yeah, live chat. That's all messages are visible. Top chat, some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. That's all it's supposed to do. And really, you guys remember, like, back in the day when one of the biggest battles I would fight here was just somebody saying nibber over and over again. Nibber, 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 nibber. You know what I mean? And they just posted a billion times, and I'd ban them, but they'd have 15 accounts in here that would just start doing it again. I mean, there were whole episodes where I did nothing but fight the Nigerian spammers. And now that doesn't happen anymore at all. Like, I don't even see them. They still exist. Like, when I turn on Top Chat every once in a while, because sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes I'll pop on Top Chat to see if they're still there. And they are. There's still a few of them that'll pop in, but they know that I don't see it now, so they're very, very rare. They're very rare. Yeah, there is something like, I get a lot of Schadenfreude thinking about, or Schadenfreude. How do you say that word? Any Germans out there? Schadenfreude? 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 Somebody help me with that? Any Germans? Is it Schadenfreude or Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude? Okay. Thanks, Germans. Yeah, I get a lot of that, you know, when I think of... See, I really wish there was a way. I guess I gotta put on Do Not Disturb. Does that work? Does Do Not Disturb prevent phone calls from even showing up on your phone? Is there a setting on a phone that does that? I want a setting where, like, if somebody calls me, it immediately sends them to voicemail, doesn't send me an alert, doesn't pop up on my screen, it just voicemails them. Is there a way to do that? I need help. Recently got friend-zoned hard by a month-long crush. Just curious, what's the longest you've ever hung on as a friend, despite the writing being clearly on the wall? I've talked about that before. I was head over heels in love with a girl named Tammy in high school, and I hate the term friend zone because I think it abdicates responsibility of the dude. It's like a way for dudes to go like, oh, not my fault. This was totally my fault. So I use the term friend zone just colloquially because people understand what it means. But I was in the friend zone for like a good 3 years in high school. I mean, I broke out of the friend zone a few times. She had to break out of the friend zone to keep me interested, you know, to keep the carrot on a stick coming. So we made out, fooled around a bunch, you know, sporadically though. It was always like something would happen like that, we'd fool around, we'd make out. Then the next day at school, she'd just be completely oblivious to me. And for like 2 weeks, she wouldn't hang out with me, wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't take my calls, you know. Just very cursory relationships. It was almost like when we started to get close, we started to do something that was almost like boyfriend, girlfriend, she'd just like, you know what I mean? Now there's nothing. Now we're barely friends, you know. And it was just a constant fucking mess. But it worked. I mean, I don't think that. See, I don't know. I've often wondered about that whole thing, and I wonder if she knew what she was doing. Like if she was purposefully like, I'm gonna give this dude just enough, I don't know, like intimacy to keep him interested, but I'm gonna yank back that carrot on a stick and take it away for long periods of time to keep him off balance and uninterested in other. I don't know if she was doing that on purpose or if there were mental things going on with her that made it hard for her to have that intimacy or whatever, and she ran from it. I don't know. I think it's an ego thing. I've talked with her. I actually got back in contact with her via Facebook. This was years ago, before I even left my marriage. And not to like rekindle any flame or anything, but just to like kind of yak. And she told me that she feels bad about how she treated me in high school. She said, I feel bad about how I treated you. I tried to take up all of your time. That's what she said. That was the best that I got out of her. But I don't know. Yeah, the 2 or 3 times that I stepped outside of that friend zone relationship and messed around with another girl, it was always a giant fight, not only between me and this chick, Tammy, but Tammy and whatever chick I messed around with would hate each other forever. It was just, high school sucked. In that way, high school really sucked. But what are you gonna do? Is she with someone uglier than you? If so, you won. I don't know who she's with. I don't perpetrate that weird Facebook stalkery thing. I don't look at her page. I don't really care. I hope she's doing good. I hope she's fine. Sucks even worse as an adult. Yeah, see, but there's no way I'd ever get caught up in that as an adult. See, if you've been in one friend zone situation and you've gotten out of it and you find yourself in another one, you really got nobody to blame but yourself because you didn't learn the lesson. Like I would never, like as a grown-ass man, I smell that kind of psychological manipulation coming a mile away and I run the other direction. Like if I think a chick is like that, it's like, okay, well, good luck finding yourself a little avatar of pain to leash around behind you, but that ain't me. I've been on that road. I served my time in the friend zone military, okay? I've been there. I know what it's like. Most people don't realize that avoidant attachment style is from the way people grow up with their parents, caregivers. Yeah, I don't know. I can armchair psychologist all day long and try and figure out why she was the way she was. I mean, like, look, I played a role in that. I was probably pretty fucking pathetic. If you think about it, like, a lot of dudes like to think that, like, they're completely the victim in a friend zone situation. But really, what happens to a dude that's in the friend zone, and I hate using words like this, but I'm going to use it because I think it actually works. You come off kind of beta. And like I said, I hate using that word. I don't really think of humanity as separated into pack animal, subgroups based on sex. I don't think alpha and beta really exist, but you come off kind of like a beta, following the chick around. She won't call you back, but you're still there. You're just like all over her, like stink on shit, and at her beck and call. And that's not attractive to women. Like, they might like having a dude on that leash, but when it comes to genuinely being attracted to a dude, girls don't like a dude that's just like puppy dogging after him and stuff. And the proof is in the pudding. Like, you remember when I said in high school, I'm in this friend zone thing, right? And I started dating this other chick. This was a senior year, and this little freshman chick who was actually friends with my little sister had a crush on me from back in the day, and she was cute. And so I started kind of going steady with her or whatever the fuck. It was a very chaste relation. Nothing happened between us. But as soon as word got around to Tammy, guess who was knocking on my front door? Guess who was blowing up my phone every night? Guess who was trying to chill with me all the time? And guess who was all of the sudden really affectionate physically? I wonder, who could it be? you know. The proof is in the pudding. It was more attractive to her to think that I had other women competing for me and that I was willing to move on to them, you know, that I was willing to put her on the shelf and be like, all right, fuck you, I'll go bang this other chick. That's when I became attractive to her. That's when she wanted me. Desperation is real unattractive. Yeah, it's a stinky cologne. You definitely don't want to load up on eau de desperation when you're heading out, you know, to meet chicks and stuff, because they smell it and it doesn't work out well. It doesn't work out well, but that's, you know, you can either learn from that. Like, some dudes never learn. Some dudes just keep trying the same failed tactics. You know, like, if I'm just super nice and super accommodating, don't make demands at all on her time, and just, I'm always available to her, and I always pick up the phone on the first ring, and I always come over when she wants me to. Like, there are guys that think that you're just gonna nice your way into a chick's pants, and that's part of it. Like, I'm not saying you gotta treat chicks like shit, but they gotta know you got a mind of your own, you know? They gotta know you got your own shit going on, and that there's a certain line that if they push you past it, you got better things to do. And if you don't, like, and it's not all women. Not all women are like that. You know, some women are attracted to different things, so I'm not trying to lump everything in, but I'm just talking about the specific type of woman that likes to get this friend zone type of relationship going on. Because really, when you look at what that's about from their perspective, it's about having a boyfriend, right? Or at least having all the benefits of a boyfriend. Somebody that you can call and cry to, somebody that you can hold hands with, somebody to go on dates with. All of those physically intimate little things that come with being a boyfriend, but you don't have to take that final step of calling him a boyfriend. So that when you don't need him around, you can be dating other people, you can be doing your own thing, you don't have to call him, you don't have to care about his feelings at all. You want to keep him just right there, to where when you're feeling like you want somebody to fawn over you and treat you well and hold your hand and all of that, when you need that kind of sexless intimacy, and that really is, yeah, no sex is a big part of this. That's part of the carrot on a stick, but yeah, that sexless intimacy, that doesn't mean as much to dudes as it does to women. Women get a lot more emotional benefit from cuddling, and it's not like it's not nice. I'm a dude and I like cuddling with Ashley. You know, I've cuddled before. It's a nice feeling, but it's way nicer for women. Women are way more attracted to that, like I said, that sexless physical proximity intimacy. You know, they like to snuggle, they like to hold hands, they like to cuddle, they like to sit on your lap. All of that stuff is very important to them, and it's not as important to us, you know. And that's really psychologically what I think that, you know, if I had to once again play armchair psychologist, I'd say that was driving a lot of what, you know, pushed her mentally to keep me in that position of non-boyfriend for forever, you know. Cuck. Okay. Just watched you guys' trip to the Renaissance Fair. It was pretty cool stuff. Love TJ being polite, caught on camera there at the tail of the end. Yeah. I'd be weirded out by that, but to each their own, I suppose. Weirded out by what? That's the sad brain of a stoner right there. I don't even remember what I said. They also like it when you pick the lice out of their hair and eat it. Oh wait, that's chimpanzees. Yeah, but I think it's all based in that, you know, that kind of hanging out with a guy that likes me that I don't like back and let him do shit for me. Oh, okay. Well, that's, yeah, like I said, you know, I was very careful to not lump all women in. So clearly Meds Peds is not somebody that is looking to get into one of these weird types of relationships. She's not attracted to that, but you know, there's a lot of women out there that are. Dudes that are in the friend zone are all, you know, kind of chasing one of these women. And my dad tried to help me with this too. You know, of course he knew that I was chasing after this one chick, and he would check in with me from time to time. You know, he'd be like, "You banged that chick yet?" I'd be like, "No, I didn't bang that chick yet." It's like, man, it's like, you are so stupid. I'm like, oh yeah, well, what do you want? What should I do, Dad? What should I do? He's like, I'll tell you what you do. You want to bang this chick? Stop paying attention to her. When she calls, don't pick up the phone. When she walks over to you to talk to you or put her arm around you, say, no, thanks. I'm in the middle of something. Excuse me. Just forget about her. Just treat her like she's a stranger for a couple of days and she'll be all over your rod. And you know what? He was right. Every time I tried it, I never went full blown with it. You know what I mean? I never was fully committed. Like, I'm going to just date this other chick and fuck this chick. But every time I showed interest in another chick, every time I'd, go to a party, I'd make out with a chick or whatever, over. It was over. So he was right. He definitely, probably had some experience with that type of woman. For as much of a dickhole as your dad is, a broken clock is a well. Look, dude, my dad, I had this show a few days ago where I talked very frankly about my father and some of the things that I think are going on with him mentally. But you have to understand, my dad is very, very socially adaptable. He's a smart dude. He knows a lot of these little tricks and a lot of these little pieces of life advice. He's got a lot of wisdom, despite being fucked up. That was one of his pieces of wisdom, I guess. Holy shit, man. I'm gonna go ahead and time you out for 300 seconds. Not for any reason other than I think you need to take some deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe close your eyes and try and calm things down. Eesh. That was just your id pouring out onto the page. You think you ever talk to your father again? Probably not. He needs medication, not deep breaths. Well, deep breaths would probably help in lieu of medication until he can get there to get that. Where there's 7 dislikes already, because this is a dislikable piece of shit. In fact, I want everybody watching to dislike it right now. Give me that Sith lightsaber. Come on. Load me up with them dislikes, please. Please. Retract your likes and put them on the dislike. Because that, for me, I'm almost more likely to click on a video that's got them dislikes. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, ooh, controversy. So if you really want to help out, man, 50-50 that shit. Make that shit red as fuck. Green and then red, or red and then green, however it works. Raise you an unsub? Okay, all right, fair enough, yeah. You watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? No, I have not. Ashley wants to see that. I don't know anything about it. I didn't even know it existed until a couple of days ago. And she was saying, hey, we should go see that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse thing. And I'm like, a new movie? No, it's a cartoon. Low-key clickbaiting. Yeah, but it's true. When you see a video and it's got that Sith lightsaber effect, you're going to click on that. You're going to check it out. You want to see the faceplant. You want to see what kind of fail happened. You want to see how this person lost it with their fan base, Dislikes are even now. Sick. Thanks, guys. You guys are cool. Even though you guys will only really do something if I ask you to do something that's detrimental to me, at least you guys are willing to help out, At least you guys are willing to be helpful. The apology videos are even better. Oh yeah, I love those. Man, I hope I never make one of those. Can you guys do me a favor? Will you just all unsubscribe to me if I ever make one of those let me show you what it looks like, okay? This is what it looks like. Let's just pretend that it just started, okay? I gotta get the face right though, so I'll snap my fingers when the apology video is gonna start. Okay, here we go. I gotta get myself in the mode though, because there's a very particular way that you have to come at people when you're doing this. I'm a YouTuber and I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Hey guys. I usually don't like making videos like this. I mean, if you watch me, you know that I like to be funny and lighthearted and to keep things conversational and cool. But something has happened that I feel I have to address. And I mean, it's gotten so far out of control now that for me to not address it would probably hurt this channel. So I called one of the Highdeology members during the episode 3 days ago, entitled A Brick of Shit, but the shit was edited because you can't say shit in a YouTube video. Anyway, I called one of the Highdeology fan base a faggot. And I hate to use that word again because I've really, over the last 3 days, learned what an awful, awful word that is. But I just, I just want to say I'm sorry. I don't want to make excuses. It's just an ugly, divisive word. And for me to use it here on this channel, it just makes me sick. It just makes me sick to my stomach. So please, all I'm asking is that you look at me and see a human being, a fallible human being. It didn't know any better. Just unsubscribe from me if I ever do that, okay? Please, please. Even if I need to do that, like even if I say something that's so bad, then I desperately, desperately need to apologize. If I ever do it, please. Just unsubscribe. I gave this video a like just to spite you. Damn you. Quit messing with the ratio, man. Quit messing with the ratio, bro. That was a great performance, though. Hey, thanks, bro. Hey, thanks. You're really good at that, I know. If I ever do have to do it, I'll be really good. Like, you guys, like those of you that didn't see this one won't even know that it's totally fake sentiment. You won't even know that I'm not really sad or sorry, Like, only those of you that watched this one will know when it comes, when I finally do make one of those videos. And it'll be good, too. It'll be good. The people that desperately want to see people, like, come clean with their shit, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. If you were forced in that position, would you make videos from your bed on your stomach? No, I'd make videos on my back in my bed, like, like holding it up like this, like, hey guys, really tough video I've got to make today. That sort of thing. It's got to look sad, and it's got to look like I can barely walk. Like you got to make it from the bed. Because like that makes it seem like you're just so busted up about what you've done that you don't even want to get out of bed, man. The depression has hit you so hard. Hey guys, gotta make this video. Should make a fake one and make what you did more and more absurd. Yeah, just start with calling somebody a fag and then be like, and then, as if that wasn't enough, I doubled down and that person said something that sounded like, I don't know, kind of street slang or whatever, and in addition to calling them a fag, I called them the N-word. And I wish it stopped there. I wish it did, because at that point, I would definitely be apologizing, but at the very least I could see a way back from this, but it didn't stop there. He made me angry, so I had some friends find out where he lived and went over there. I wasn't gonna hurt him or anything, I just wanted to see if he would talk shit straight to my face. But his grandma opened the door, and she was on oxygen, and I yelled in her face, and she had a heart attack. And it just keeps getting worse. And if that wasn't enough, when the fucking paramedics came to take her body away, like I had this real bad bout of diarrhea, and I tried to like bend over and squirt it into a bush, but it like shat all over the sheet covering her body. You know what I mean? Just have it keep getting worse. It just ends with me like, it just ends with me like, and then I accidentally like restarted the Holocaust. I didn't mean to. What the fucking The furnaces are burning again, and Jews are being. I don't even know how. I don't know how I got here. I don't know why I didn't stop it. I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. You sure just won back your sub. Hey, see? A bunch of the people that unsubbed have resubbed now. Isn't it great? I have an inkling the anti-SJW skeptic community is going to call the Spider-Verse SJW garbage because Miles is black, despite the fact that he's a good character that changes. I don't know anything about it, so... Yeah, I'll name it. That'll be the name of the video. All apologies. Yeah. I've not prayed. I have not prayed Breath of the Wild. I've watched Ashley pray it, though. The whole PC agenda argument is so boring. But why'd you just bring it up? Who's talking about that? Huh? Who's talking about that? Only you, buddy. Only you. What's your opinion on public sex? I don't care. When did you lose your virginity? I was 18. By winning. Excuse me. I just had a belch. Man, that belch tasted like coffee. It's like a visit from an old friend. Coffee. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's right. I had a big glass of that, didn't I? Paul, when was the last time you prayed? I don't know. I was probably like 19 or 20 or something. I remember when I was like right around that age, I was having a real, I mean, not like any point in my life hasn't been rough mentally, but I was having like a real, like, I don't know. A lot of my mental problems were exacerbated by turning that age, being around 20 or 21. And I remember, you know, this was before I really had labeled myself as an atheist, or even really like I'd been calling myself an agnostic at this point because I thought it was some halfway point between religiosity and non-religiosity. But I remember just being like, you know, kind of suicidal almost, and just feeling really, really down, and in tandem with that deep depression, dealing with my mind, which is a fucking nightmare. The owner's manual for my mind would be like, you know, that thick and tiny little print. And at that age, I really didn't know how to deal with it as well as I do now. Not that I have a great coping mechanism now, but I'm better now than I was back then at dealing with it. And so I remember, you know, being in a really bad place and being like, well, let's hedge our bets here. Let's go ahead and pray. So I tried it, and nothing happened, you know. So I gave it a shot. That was probably the last time I did it. How old were you when you stopped being a gourd believer? I don't know. Probably around 16 or 17 when I really started going like, okay, this isn't real. It's just another one of those stories, huh? But, you know, that sort of sentiment hangs on for a while. I once prayed to God, but he didn't answer. But Satan did, though. That's where I got my dark power. You didn't get power, you got power. Cool. You drink coffee without creme? Yeah. I drink my coffee black, my friend. I'm 24 and being in a depressive lull is my default state of being. Yeah, see, I deal with three, you know, separate, but I guess somewhat interconnected mental problems. I have that, you know, I have major depressive disorder, so I'm very depressed. I have an anxiety disorder, so while I'm depressed, my brain is going a million miles an hour, and I have PTSD, which means that when my brain is going a million miles an hour, sometimes it finds its way to obtrusive flashbacks to events that were traumatic to me, and I relive them in a way. Those three things are really what keep me kind of on my toes mentally, constantly. I start dealing with them as soon as I wake up in the morning, and I stop dealing with them when I lay my head down on the pillow and finally go to sleep. I forgot why my name is Perfect Paul, or why it's a picture of you. Kind of creepy now that I look at it. Yeah, I don't know, buddy. I got nothing to do with you picking your name. In all seriousness, I don't catch these live very often, but I'm glad to have caught you this time, and for what you do. Work, home, and life in general ain't great. Thanks for being a bright spot. Hey, well, I hope it's a little better today. Hope at least we can laugh, have a little chit chat, you know. Casey Sunbeam. Yeah. How's he doing? Just massage your brain with a bullet. Oh, damn, dude, that's deep and edgy, Canadian Fuhrer. Not only the first one to post, but you're also the edgiest poster here, huh? I'm undiagnosed, but I suspect I have narcissism and low self-esteem. Winning combo. Hey, cool. Got any bars for us? No. You ever watch porn? Sure, I do. Don't you? I guess not for long anymore. See, I'm going to be well prepared, though, for the porn apocalypse. Like, when the internet is scoured of all pornography, I'll be okay. Because I grew up in a time before that happened, so I got a good imagination. All I got to do is get it back in shape, you know? I don't have to use it all that much because of porn, but in the absence of porn, I just got to work that, you know, that imagination. Close your eyes. You can do it, you know. Excuse me. I had to start watching vanilla stuff lately to feel anything. Wow, you've gone back to you've backed off, huh? Just make some hentai on a piece of paper. Yeah, just draw like a crude dick and a crude vagina. Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know. Porn is more important to people than guns. It'll never go away. Says you, my friend, says you. You have any tips for spicing up your sex life? Yeah, get a girlfriend. It'll really, it adds a whole new dimension. Got him. What music do you listen to? Any music that comes along, anything that comes across my desk that tickles my brain a little bit, I'll listen to. The biggest turd you've ever taken versus TJ? I mean, I don't know how we do that, though. I guess I could try and make it happen. Like, when I take, a really big turd, it's usually after I spent a day eating a lot of, breads and stuff. So if I eat a lot of bread and grains, you know, then I'm probably going to pinch a pretty big loaf. So we'd have to, yeah. We'd have to, poop into a bucket, you know, and weigh it. It'd be an interesting one to see who could take the biggest dump. I think I could probably put up a good fight for it. We're at 71-69. Someone disliked. Yeah, dude. Come on, man. We had those dislikes perfectly balanced. Ugh. We live in such a perverse culture that porn makes people feel awkward, but kids can go watch films with gunfights with their parents and it's fine. I mean, that's part of the weird hang-ups, that the religiosity that's at the core of a lot of America's founding, you know. Also that there's just this kind of sex phobia that goes on, you know. Puritan roots, yeah. Why is it wrong to show teenagers porn? I think it's called contributing to the delinquency of an underage minor, right? There really is no reason for you to show a teenager porn. other than self-gratification for yourself, right? Because teenagers know how to find porn on their own. No? Sex phobia since when? Take a look around, bro. I mean, we're simultaneously infatuated with sex and completely hung up about it. Like, you know, in our private lives, when we're locked in our little rooms, we're watching all the fucking deviant porn we can get our hands on. But if somebody, you know, does something publicly, just a public display of affection or a frank discussion of sexuality in public, it's like, how dare you? No, we don't. Okay. I think that maybe your perception on this is hampered by the fact that you don't leave your basement. The world is very different outside when you're actually walking around in a public place with other people and having conversations. Breastfeeding triggers people. I don't know why, but it does. You're right. You right. I just ate a double chili cheeseburger from Sonic with onion rings in it. Damn, son, that sounds good. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Best advice I ever got was that you have to communicate what she wants. No shame in that. Yeah, you got to get close enough to a chick where because like, look, there's this thing when you first start like having sex with somebody, right? You want, and I think this happens on both sides, but maybe, you know, a chick can jump in here. I've never had sex with a dude, so I can't really talk about that, but I have a feeling it's the same way. You want the other person to think that you know what you're doing. Like, I know what makes you feel good, and I do it automatically. You know what I mean? You want to try and hit that mark. But if you get close enough to a person to actually have a conversation about what they like and what they want and what you like and what you want, that does make sex better. You know what I mean? So that is true. That's a good piece of advice. Better than the one that I gave about just going out and getting a girlfriend. That one was mean. That last one, that was actually a good piece of advice. I subscribed. Cool, bro. Cool. In celebration for you subscribing, I'm going to go and get something to drink. Make sure you throw a few more dislikes up there while I'm gone, because walking away from a stream in progress is really like, that's not all that entertaining, you know. Definitely worthy of some dislikes. Hey, buddy. Day that you feed me with hate, I grow stronger. Wah! Bum, 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 eat me. drink me, then you'll see the light. I didn't refill the Penguin. I got some cold drink now because I finished my coffee. I'm still kind of thirsty, so I got. This is just water with like a little squirt of Mio in it. Well, it's not Mio. It's those little, those things help. I've been trying to drink more water when I'm, especially just like around, because I know I woefully dehydrated probably most of the time. This helps, You get a big glass of water, put a little squirt of that stuff in it, adds a little flavor to it. I subscribed. Hey! Everybody welcome Master Crafter. Ever see any of those shitty Sonic cartoons from back in the day? No, I think I missed those, but the beginning of Sonic CD had a bomb-ass cartoon. I used to know all the words to it, but I'd have to listen to it again. You remember that, Sonic boom, Sonic boom, Sonic boom. I think that was like the verse, and I was just like, as a kid, I was like, oh hell yeah, dude, Sonic boom. Paul, do you have any hopes for 2019? Nope, I don't do that. Like, I hope 2019 is this, or I got this right. No, 2019 is gonna be what it is. Maybe it'll be a good year, maybe it'll be a shit year. I don't know. Maybe it'll be somewhere halfway between. My beard's getting out of hand. It's been out of hand, my friend. It's way out of hand now. And it's just going to keep getting worse because I ain't cutting it. What are you going to do about it? Playing any games these days? Yeah, I've been playing some Smash when I got the chance. I'm playing another little game that I picked up called Legends of Aria. It's kind of like a spiritual successor to Ultima Online. It's pretty fun. I've been having fun with it here and there, but not a whole lot. My boyfriend won't shave his balls. That's a shame. I don't blame him, though, because, you can get razor burn and stuff. You groom your beard at all? Yeah. I brush it. I put oil in it every day. I've got beard oil that I put in there. I got a brush that I use. You got to. Like, if I didn't do that, it would be way worse than it is now. It'd be pretty crusty. Like, at least when you touch it now, it's relatively soft, Porn stimulates the brain in the same manner nostalgia stimulates the brain. It creates a utopian dimension. Cool. Cool. What's optimal pubic hair on a woman for Paul's ego? Whatever she has. I don't care. I mean, I guess, like, for certain things, I prefer less hair going on, but it's not like I'm gonna, if I'm gonna be with a chick and she drops trowel and it's 70s down there, it's like 1972 down there, whatever. I know what's behind all of it. What I want is still in there somewhere. I don't care. I'm not picky that way. Is Legends of Aria a game without rules like Ultima used to be? It has rules, but it's very open. Like, you can kill people out in the wilderness and take everything they own. You can be killed. There's factions and guilds that are always warring over areas and stuff. So yeah, it's very reminiscent of that. There are rules, but the rules seem to be towards player freedom. They tend to err towards the freedom of you as a player to do whatever you want within that game system. I get my hair lasered. Yeah. I've thought about doing that before. Because when it comes to pubes, like on a dude, I don't know. Like, for me personally, I think I'd just laser it all. I think you can laser your ball. I think you can laser anything. Probably wouldn't feel great, Like, it'd probably leave you in pain for a few days, but then afterwards you wouldn't have to worry about it. I've never waxed either, but I'd probably go through that. I just have to find somebody that was willing, like, I was comfortable enough around to bare my junk to, but I'd wax it up. Guys that are fully shaved or a turn off, pretty sure they're gay. I mean, whatever. I like to keep things, like, tidy and smelling good down there, and a lot of hair just creates a swampiness. It's the most physically intensive job you've ever had. I worked at the glass plant when I was a teenager for a while, and I was a hand stacker, basically, which means that they have these machines at the glass plant in my little hometown called palletizers that are meant to stack these boxes of wine bottles and then wrap them with plastic so that they can be loaded onto a truck. But sometimes you had too much wear. In fact, most of the time you had too much wear for the palletizers to keep up with, so they would have a group of grunts basically hand stacking pallets of wear. And that was, it's basically just lifting a box of empty wine bottles, putting it on a pallet, going back, getting another box, putting it on the pallet, and stacking it in the pattern that's correct to where you've got a stacked pallet, hand wrapping it with plastic, and then calling the fucking forklift guy to come take it away and put it on a truck. I mean, that was literally just lifting boxes of shit all day, every day. So that was probably the most physically intensive job I've ever had. Yeah, warehouse jobs are pretty notoriously physically demanding. Southern here, will the Big Chief be a meetup? Yeah, if we do it, I want to let people know like what day and what time we're planning on being there, so that if there's anybody in the area that wants to come down to the Big Chief and have a meal with us, and then maybe go to a shitty little bar in that town afterwards and have a few drinks. Yeah, so how heavy were the boxes? I don't know. I mean, imagine normal-sized wine bottles, and boxes had between 6 and 9 of them in there. So pretty, heavy enough to where repetitive lifting of them all day at different levels too. Because sometimes you're pulling them up from up here because you've got an unpatterned pile of boxes over here. Sometimes you're pulling them up from up here. Sometimes you're bending all the way over to pick them up from down here. Sometimes you're placing them down all the way down, so you pull them from the top and you're placing them down. Sometimes you're pulling from down here and you're placing them down. It's just a constant lift, bend, lift, bend, lift, bend, lift, bend, and you're on your feet all day. Is this the most stressful job you've had? This is a different kind of stress than any other job that I've had. It's more stressful in a lot of ways, but it's less stressful in a lot of ways. It's definitely nowhere near as physically demanding as other jobs that I've had. Even a job that a lot of people don't think is super physically demanding, like Starbucks. Well, I think a lot of times people think that because they've never worked a job like that. Starbucks drains your ass. You're on your feet all day. You're running back and forth. This job doesn't have that element to it, but it has an element of, kind of uncertainty to it that adds a whole lot of stress to it. There's also like an impetus on me to continue being good, to continue making things that people want to see, to try and reach outside of the small fan base that I've gathered and make things that are bigger and better. So yeah, there's a healthy dose of stress, but it's, like I said, it's a different kind of stress. Starbucks hurts my back, bending for milks. Oh yeah, dude. You're constantly bending at the waist at Starbucks. You're on your feet all day. You're always moving. Your brain is engaged. If you're working bar during a constant rush, that drains all the life out of you. You come home, you feel like a fucking zombie, because you worked 6 hours straight on the bar just slamming drinks. By the time you get out, you're just like, you just want to sit in front of a video game and just like let your brain not be like so fucking engaged, New Year's was awful working at Starbucks. Yeah. The holidays were not great. What's the worst customer you've ever had at Starbucks in your opinion? I don't know if I remember the worst. The one that immediately pops to my mind is this little Chinese dude that I had to call the police on. He came in, he gave me a 10 for his drink. He got a coffee or whatever. He gave me a 10. I gave him change of a 10. And he immediately counts it and he goes, "I gave you a 20. I was like, "No, you didn't." And because I'm the manager, so I pop my drawer open with the key and I pull my 10 out of the drawer and I say, "Here's the 10 you gave me. You gave me this 10 and I gave you change of the 10. It's the only 10 in my drawer, you see? I gave you 20. I was like, "Okay, we can figure out if this is true or not. Just give me about 5 minutes. I'll be right back." And I closed my till down, went in the back, counted it, found out it was dead on balls. you know, not $10 over like it should have been if I shortchanged him. I went back out with the receipt and I handed it to him and I said, here's my drawer. You can see my ins and outs for the day, and you can see that my balance is supposed to be this, and my balance is this. So, you took the money. You took that $10. You took it. You give me my $10. You give me right change. You took the money. And I'm like, I'm sorry, sir, but you gave me a 10. Here's your 10. Right here. See, it's still right here in the drawer. You took the money. You took the money. You give me my... And so finally it got to the point where I was like, look, I'm going to call the police and have them escort you out of here. Like, I've asked you to leave several times here. I've counted my drawer. Here's the receipt showing that I did not shortchange you. You get money. You steal. He a thief. He's going around the whole restaurant. He a thief. He a thief. He steal. He put money in his pocket. He put money in his pocket. So, you know, I called the police. I was just like, not 911, but I just called the fucking police department. I was like, hey, I got a customer over here that's screaming. Can you come and escort him off the property? And as soon as the cop walked in, he started walking out. You know, I think he didn't think I was going to call the bluff and actually call the police. So as soon as a patrolman walked in the door, he was like, oh, no. Starts yelling at the patrolman. They went out and talked in the front for a little while, and then he just drove away. Patrolman came in and said, like, you got that receipt? He said you showed him a receipt. And I was like, yeah, it's right here. I counted the drawer when he said I shortchanged him. He looked at it and he was like, all right, have a good day. Sorry about that. I was like, okay, thanks. Have a good one. So that one was pretty bad. I had a fantasy about that dude getting hit by a piece of blue ice. Blue ice is like, I don't even know if it really exists, but I remember reading a story about somebody getting killed by a chunk of blue ice from a jetliner. What happens is if it's cold, you know, way up there, and they flush the toilet out, you know, you get all that blue shit. So like pee and poo and like that blue shit that flushes the toilet, and then it freezes, and like I had a fantasy that day about that dude walking around going like, he stole my money. He took my $10. He blah, blah, blah. And just, you know, just like, and a bunch of people are watching, like maybe his family, like maybe he's standing on the front porch with his family, like ranting about Starbucks. He took my $10. Yeah, you know, just a big chunk of blue ice just blows his head up. Like, that's how I got through that day. I got through that day just like crossing my fingers and hoping a jetliner dumped a fucking load of icy shit over his head and killed him. That's how I got through it, you know. That's how I kept myself going that day until the end of the day. You got to have murder fantasies sometimes if you work in customer service. It happened a lot with me. It's an awfully cold fantasy, yeah, buddy. What's the worst job you ever had? I've talked about this before. I used to work at a recycling plant. It was actually adjunct to the glass plant that I was talking about. It was a different company, but they shared space because the recycling plant would obviously feed cullet, which is ground up recycled glass. They would supply cullet to the glass plant so that they could make recycled glass bottles. So it was on site there, and I worked at that little recycling plant. It was called CRA, Container Recycling Alliance. I think they still exist. You can look up the company. I worked for the Madera branch of CRA, and it was my job. Now, they have machines that do this. It's my understanding that people don't really do this job anymore because they've come up with machines that are way more accurate at getting everything out. But basically, it was my job to watch all this trash glass go by on a conveyor in various states of being broken. Sometimes a whole bottle, sometimes half a bottle, sometimes just chunks. And within that, there would be ceramic and metal. Like most of the metal I pulled out were those little metal rings that go around the tops of bottles that have a metal cap. You know what I mean? Like you pull the metal cap off. So we'd get a lot of those metal caps, and that little ring that the metal was attached to that stays on the plastic bottle, we'd get a lot of those. If you have a load of cullet, like the crushed up glass to go into the furnace to make new bottles, and it's got ceramic or metal in it, then you get what's called stones in the bottle. So the mold will shit out a bottle, and it'll be a perfectly fine bottle, except it'll have this little chunk of material in it that makes it a weak spot in the bottle. The bottle has to be chucked. Because if you pressurize it, fill it with wine or whatever beverage goes in it, and cork it off, that little piece of whatever in the glass bottle creates like a weak spot, and the pressure from that liquid will eventually cause it to burst or leak or crack or whatever. So, but yeah, that job was literally, and we would get these loads of garbage glass. It was called 3-mix. And 3-mix is there's 3 different colors of glass. There's flint, which is white, and then there's green and brown, right? Amber, and I can't remember what the green one's technical name is. But those 3 colors of glass, if you mix them, make like a brown bottle, and you see a lot of the cheaper stuff have that. And we worked a lot of 3-mix at that place. So 3-mix is just all kinds of glass all thrown in together, and it's glass and other shit. So we used to get all of our stuff from the Bay Area, from bins, from the big, blue recycle-only bins. And as you probably know, people don't pay attention to that recycle-only sign on those. So there would be diapers, going by, hypodermic needles, tampons. I mean, anything that you can think of that a disgusting human being would throw into a recycling bin would go by on that conveyor belt. But all of that stuff, like the paper stuff, we just ignored it. Like diapers get burned off, like that'll get ground up into the glass, and then when it's thrown into the furnace, like any paper or any of that, all of that just burns off. So diapers, like, it's not like we had to grab them, but yeah, when you saw one go by, you'd grab it and throw it in the bin. I mean, you got in this mode where it was like, if you didn't see a piece of ceramic or a piece of metal and you weren't throwing that, then you grabbed some trash. So it was just constantly. So like you were hunched over a conveyor belt with this garbage going on it, and you got a bin in front of you on the other side of it, and you're just grabbing little chunks of metal, grabbing little chunks of ceramic, throwing it in there. If a diaper, a big syringe or something comes by, you got these big thick gloves on with metal mesh all day. I worked that for a month and a half, I think, and then I scammed my way into a forklift driving position there. They had a forklift driver there that wasn't licensed, and he ended up quitting, and they were one of the bosses, one of the guys that, one of the bosses of the place that was normally working in the office was having to run the forklift because he was the only one that knew how to drive it. And I saw him doing that, and I walked up to him in between things on a break or something, and I said, hey, I can drive that forklift. He's like, oh, you licensed? I was like, no, but I can drive that forklift. I know the guy that was here before wasn't licensed either. I could drive that fucking forklift. And the next day, when I got to work, he was like, Parky, get off the line. You're going to drive that forklift today. I want to see how you do. I was like, yes. So I did good that first day, and for the rest of the time I was there, it was like a summer job, so I worked another 2.5 months, I think, somewhere around there. It was in between the end of my high school career and the beginning of my college. So it was about 3 months total that I was there, and like I said, about a month or a month and a half I worked the line, and then the last part of it I worked a forklift driver. That was a way better position, so that was nice. Putting a high schooler on a forklift is a gamble. It's a small town. You're right, they could have gotten in major big trouble if, some regulatory agency had come by and been like, hey, I want to see the license for your forklift driver. They'd have gotten busted pretty hard, but when's that going to happen? You know what I mean? Maybe it happens now, but back in the day, there was nobody coming around to check on that. Nobody cared. Were you good at it? I drove forklift for a few months. Took me a while to get used to it. I was pretty good at it. I had driven forklifts before. Not a whole bunch, but I slipped right into it. It's pretty simple. Yeah, the forklift it's got its own thing. My stepdad is a forklift operator at the glass plant, and he's now on permanent disability because his neck is fucked. Because what he would do is he would basically like 70 or 80 loads a night when you're loading those, when you're putting the ware, like the big stacks of ware that we talked about, when you're putting them in the warehouse, you're lifting them up with the forklift and your neck is back like this all night, and tilting your neck back and forth like this. There's a rotator cuff in there that as you do it, it just wears out, and his is completely dead. So his neck is fucked, his back is fucked. So it's, there's a lot of bouncing on a forklift. They don't have great suspension on them, so especially when you got a load on there. And that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but jostling yourself like this for 7.5 to 8 hours, you know, that's more strain on these neck joints and back joints and shit. Did you get laid a lot because you knew how to drive forklift? Oh yeah, dude. Women love a forklift driver, man. There's nothing like a forklift driver. No. Nobody. Used to drive a forklift drunk as fuck for Budweiser. Cool. Stand-up forklifts are hard on your body. I've never driven a stand-up. This little sit-down forklift, you know. You know how to drive a manual car? I was trained on a manual. So yeah, I learned how to drive manual. And like if I had my own way, if I was a single dude and I only had one car, it'd be a manual. I just prefer them to automatic. So yes. Most dudes know manual. That's not true anymore these days. That is not true anymore these days. That might have been true 10, 15, 20 years ago, but these days manuals are like, oftentimes when you go to buy a car, it used to be the manual was cheaper, but now because it's a special order item and it's not something they mass produce anymore, you actually can pay more for a manual transmission than an automatic, depending on the car. Manuals are usually on higher end models now. Yeah, and you get this like half-ass kind of manual automatic hybrid where you can shift if you want. I like a good standard manual where I can feel that gear. I like to feel it. I keep my hand on the gear as I drive because on a proper old manual, you can feel the engine through that gear shift. You can feel the RPMs and stuff. You can feel the vibrations through that. It makes you feel like you're grounded. At least for me, it makes me feel like I'm grounded in the car. Like I have more control over it. Like I'm more in tune with what the car is going through. I don't know. I just like it. Driving in mountains and stuff with a manual is like really, really fun. Automatics are superior to manual now, even in sports cars. It's just the opposite 5 to 10 years ago. I believe it. Like in terms of like, you know, like speed and all of that, you're probably right. Like automatics have probably outstripped manuals. I still like manuals. I prefer the driving experience in a manual than I do an automatic. So it is what it is. Advice for a nervous 30-year-old version. Reno? Do I need to say anything else? I bet you'll be a lot less nervous if you clean out the chamber a couple of times. I'm just saying. Leave America and it's all stick shift, even new cars. Cool. I need something for I just need something for point 1 to point B. Yeah, that's what most people need. Yes, who is Reno? Who is Reno? Hello. Don't use scissors to cut pubes like Paul's friend, yeah. I'll never forget that diamond patch of skin that was missing out of Waylon's scrotum, dude. That was the craziest looking shit I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. I was trained on a manual too, thankfully, even though I'm 19. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like I said, it's really an unnecessary skill nowadays, but I prefer a good old standard. Advice for growing your hair out? Yeah, dude. Stop getting haircuts. I mean, people think it's more complicated than that, but it really isn't. What you do is when you look at your hair and you think like, man, I look shaggy and disgusting. I'm gonna go get a haircut so I look cleaner. You deny that impulse and you just allow yourself to get even more shaggy and disgusting. Yeah. It's like learning to operate a monochrome Apple II and treating it like it's a skill. It is, though. If you've got somebody that can sit down and operate an old style monochrome Apple IIe and you can't, then they have a skill you don't, right? Or is that not the way that it works nowadays? Unnecessary skill. Cool. Well, I think that's just about it.